It's time for Everything Noob, your source for all things gaming.
Everything Noob, episode 95 starts now. I am Vortak, streamer of video games, and later tonight, I'll be streaming on my channel. We'll talk about that in a bit, though. And I'm joined this evening by...
Dreadlow. Yep. I've been talking about my YouTube channel, and I think I'm going to do a YouTube video tonight. So I will be officially a YouTuber again.
Nice.
Dreadlow Gaming.
Well, I'm excited because you've been hyping us for quite a while.
I know.
So the theme of tonight, if you were listening last week, you know, is all about The Sims. We're talking about The Sims 4. We're going to talk a little bit maybe about EA as well. And it comes out at midnight tonight. That's about an hour from now, as we're recording this live on Twitch TV.
For you, but for me it's about 3 hours.
Yeah, you got some time still. Yeah, this game is coming out, and it's been the topic of a lot of distress and excitement for the whole gaming community who's ever played and loved The Sims and Maxes and the games they make. And yeah, the reason we wanted to discuss it, despite our, I want to say lack of interest, I don't know personally if I really want to spend my money on this game based on what I've heard. The reason we want to bring it up, though, is because we're really passionate about The Sims and the franchise.
I love this, yes.
You know, we want to see them do right by it. And we kind of feel, based on the information we have, that it might not be the case with The Sims 4.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm getting too, but I'm not sure, you know? Then again, I'm not sure, because it's possible that, well, I guess we'll get into it in the show. But, yeah, there's a lot of things like, well, when I've watched the stream, because they've been putting a stream up of Sims 4 to get everybody prepared for it. And there's a lot of people who have gotten it early because they've went to the conventions and they were able to actually
got a journalist pass or something.
Something like that. And so they've been able to play it. So a lot of these people have been getting it, and that some people made YouTube videos of it. And But when they play it, it's all positive, right? So you think, oh, this is going to be a good game. But then you get this article that says there's going to be like, 89 features missing from The Sims 4.
Yeah, this article has been making the rounds and appearing on various blogs around the internet, to the point where I have a gut feeling where if you go to Google and type in the number 89, it'll probably come up with that as like one of the first results. Like, you know, Google guesses the stuff. I don't know. I haven't tried that, but that's how much, because it's 89 features that are quote unquote proven to not be in The Sims 4, and a handful of them to not only will they not be in The Sims 4 in the base game, but it's impossible to add them according to EA.
Right.
So every blogger puts this list up and then they spout their opinions about it. And we have the list. We'll link it in the show notes. I mean, I don't want to, like, I'm not going to rattle off everything in the list if I can help it anyway, but
just some of the key things that we are used to in past Sims games.
Yeah, a lot of this list is the topic of tonight, because this is why anyone would reconsider their decision to buy The Sims 4. Now, arguably, The Sims 3 is a fine game.
Oh, it's awesome. I like it.
For me, I don't feel like there's a need for another Sims at this moment. And especially because of some of the things they've taken out. And they've already talked about taking... I've seen them in other things talk about taking some of these features out.
It's almost a completely different game. I mean, it's not a different game. It's obviously The Sims. But they've used a different engine. It's a completely different gaming engine. So they're trying to... I guess what they're trying to do is get up with the times. They've been using the same engine for the past 3, right? So... Yeah. They wanted to come up with a new engine, but they're also, and this is probably why we have a lot of these features missing, because what they're trying to do is they're saying, well, we took out some of these features because we wanted to introduce some new stuff, but that wouldn't work, you know, with these old features in it, which doesn't make sense to me, because you can make a game with all the features. There's no reason why you couldn't. So it's possible that they're doing this so that it can be streamlined, so they can use it on mobile devices and things like that. Because, you know, you've seen the free Sims thing on Android and on iPhone, right?
Yeah.
It's like a free Sims Online, not Sims Online, Sims Mobile or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's free, and it's got microtransactions, things like that. So I think to kind of do what I would do what Microsoft was doing, you know, where they made Windows 8, and then they made that Windows 8 work with Xbox and all their different things that they have, iPhone, or I mean, Windows Phone.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're trying to streamline it. But
Yeah,
then again, I don't know if that's what the whole reasoning
they
is.
they tried to spin it, and I don't know. I don't know if there's like a motive behind this, but they tried to spin it like we took out some of those features because we wanted the game to run better. And the features I'm referring to are the ones that really made The Sims 3 awesome, and something people have been really wanting since The Sims 1. You know how your sim is standing in his house, right? Imagine you have a sim, he's standing in his house, but he's in a neighborhood. There's other crap going on around him, but you can't get there without passing through at least a loading screen first. And then you go to this other house and it's kind of limited. In The Sims 3, you can take that character and you can just move across the whole neighborhood while still having that character selected and like click move here, and you can watch him just walk all the way there.
Follow him all the way there. Now, some of the buildings he go in, he just kind of disappears. You can't go into those buildings. But
Exactly.
there are a lot of buildings where you can, like, you know, like restaurants and bars and stuff, right?
Exactly. So it's kind of like, wow, this is an awesome feature, and you would hope they would build on that. And that's the stuff they've taken out in order to quote unquote increase performance. And you look at the what do you call it, the minimum recommended specs, and they're pretty decent like specs. I mean, you need a Core i5 processor, you need X amount of graphics. I don't have them. I can probably pull them up here in a sec. But the specs are, I mean, I guess if you went to Best Buy and bought a laptop right now, you'd probably get a lot of those things in it if you spent, I don't know, more than the entry-level laptop
Right,
for
right.
browsing the
You
internet.
could probably get a cheap end HP laptop and be able to play this game on it.
Yeah, which is good. That's a
Yeah.
good thing. But I feel like if you're a good game developer, you're going to try to make your game have the same, if not more, features than your previous game, while also working to make it run better on machines. Minecraft is a great example. For 1.8, they're doing everything they can to make it run smoother without taking away features. In fact, they're adding features and making the game run better for the player.
Right, right, right.
And if it can be done in Java, there's no reason it can't be done with whatever they're
But then
using.
you got to understand that Maxis is using a new engine here, so it's completely different. So I don't know. It might be a little bit more difficult than what we're thinking. I don't know, but I'm just saying that some of these key features, and this is the kind of where a lot of people are kind of up in arms about this, because they are believing that it's possible that these could be future expansions, so that they can make a little bit more money and nickel dime us.
Yeah. So I have the minimum specs here. There's a lot here. I'm not gonna go too crazy, but Windows 7 or 8 or 8.1, 1.8 gigahertz internal core. Let's see, here I go. I'm reading it word for word. Basically, there's a bunch of processors, and it comes down to Core i5, I think. Yep. And then memory, at least 2 gigs of RAM. That's pretty easy to get. Hard drive, at least 9 gigabytes of free space. Yeah, okay, that's fair. A DVD-ROM required for installation only if you don't download it. And the video card, you need 128 megabytes of video RAM and support for Pixel Shader 3.0. Supported video cards are the NVIDIA GeForce 6600 or better. And
Wow, yeah, 6600 is actually an old NVIDIA card too, because we're in GTX now.
yeah. So some of these specs, I wouldn't say you would need a supercomputer. I've built myself what I would consider for what I need it for, kind of a supercomputer, because I don't play a whole lot of really graphic-intensive games, and the ones I do play, it runs great. So I could play The Sims just fine. But according to this giant missing features list, there's no support for 64-bit systems.
Right.
That's a big problem, because if there's only 32-bit and you're running a 64-bit system with more than 4 gigs of RAM, it's said to actually cripple you rather than help to have more RAM.
Yeah, because the 64-bit operating system is meant to utilize all the memory on your board. And if you're using a 32-bit, now it's I'm not sure exactly how it works, but yeah, it would definitely cripple you in some way.
So yeah, I personally don't understand either. I'm not, a big, I'm not that into computers to where I can tell you the science of why that happens that way. But
that's why we're noobs.
Yes, that's why we're noobs. So we don't claim to have the answers. We just talk about things.
We just read it.
But basically, yes. So that's one of the big crippling things that people were pretty up in arms about on this list of things that aren't going to be in the main game. We can start going into some of these though. That stood out to me. Obviously, we know no pools or toddlers. That was like the first thing we learned about, and we talked about it a few shows ago, where you can't have a pool, and people were pretty bummed out about that. And toddlers, I'm like, toddlers, they were kind of annoying. I'm okay with those being gone.
It was interesting because I also, I don't know if it was in here that I read it, but I also read somewhere where you weren't going to, the babies were just, when you have a baby, the babies were just a model.
Yeah, you can only interact with the baby over the bassinet. Kind of like, I think that was how it was in The Sims 1 as well. You had a baby, and it would eventually, it'll eventually grow up, but you can only interact with it while it's over the crib. So that means you go up to it, you can feed it and change its diaper, and that's it. I mean, that's your baby until it grows up.
In Sims 3, how was it?
In The Sims 3, there was different stages. So you had baby, then toddler, then child, and then teenager, so on and so forth.
So they grew
and the toddler phase was interesting because what you could do is you could potty train him, you could teach him how to speak, you could do these things, and if you did all those things before he grew up, then he would become a better person. He would do better in school. He would be, he is more likely to have better traits growing up. But now they're taking that out, and I think that's what people are bummed out about, because now there's no chance to raise your kid to make it have good traits. You just have to maybe get lucky now.
Yeah, now it's kind of like randomized.
You could still probably teach a kid to do different things, and that'll help. I don't know. I don't have the game, but...
Well, I noticed also another thing that's kind of been somewhat removed, and that's the progression. You know how you're able to, like you said, you start from baby and work your way up, and you progress. And depending on certain traits, you can get certain jobs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that were going on, whereas here, I think you only have, there's like 8 different jobs you can choose from throughout the whole game.
I see the one you're talking about, no story progression. It's saying without player intervention. So that means in The Sims 3, people would be dying and getting married and having, things go on while you're not interacting with those families around the neighborhood.
Which more is like a simulator in a sense. I mean, you set them up and then you let them go, and then you see how your simulation is working. It's kind of like like you're God, and you got these things and they do their own thing. But now you have to interact with them a lot more.
When you jump into a Sims world, you're not going to control all the families in there anyway.
No, there's no way.
But in The Sims 1, that was a big problem, and maybe even The Sims 2, where you would be playing, and let's say your character makes a friend out in the park or something, and then you get old, and you're about to die. Your friend is still just as young as the day you met him because he hasn't progressed with you.
That's being
removed once again from the game, which is really obnoxious, because that was actually a feature, I think, in The Sims 3 you could turn on or off, story progression without player intervention. So you could choose to play it that way. Why not have it that way in this one? Because there's no open world. The open world made it possible. Now without the open world, that's gone. So this, and I don't want to be completely negative here. Like especially me, I have a huge tendency to like bash things. I love it. I love drama, but I can't, be completely negative, because a lot of these things, like if you watch live streams and videos of Sims 4, like from those people you were talking about at the top of the show, you'll be seeing stuff and you'll be going, that seems fine to me. Like, one thing that's on this list, it says no burglars. That's all we get. That's all the information we get on it. It says no burglars. And to me, that's huge. That's enormous. That's a huge part of the game. Yeah. Getting robbed? That's awesome. Like, I want my Sim to get robbed. I don't want him to be safe in his closed little house. I have to buy an alarm and I have to take precautions. Otherwise, he could get robbed. That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's part of the simulation.
But that's gone, like, according to this list. But if you watch a stream, maybe you see a burglar. Now, the one thing that I saw that was different, like, here's what this list is a very negative list. And what I wanted to point out was the one thing I saw. It said no repo man. And the repo man comes around when you haven't paid your bills. And he has this ridiculous gun, and he sucks up your TV, and he sucks up your possessions until he feels like he has enough money, and then he leaves. And if you don't pay your bills, he keeps coming back until you have no stuff. Funny. Okay. There's no repo man. So that would lead me to believe the player, I don't have to pay my bills. There's no consequences. But that's wrong.
That's another thing, yeah.
That's wrong. If you do some reading about it and click the links that follow the no repo man thing, you'll find that one of the developers said, we got rid of the repo man because we thought of something better. Now if you don't pay your bills, we turn off your power.
Which is more realistic.
More realistic and pretty freaking hilarious, if you ask me.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool. Like, if we're looking at a list that's completely negative in front of our faces, it's bashing the Sims.
We're not looking at what they've added.
We're not looking at the other side of it. We don't know because we don't have the game. And as I said earlier, I'm going to get to stream this game on my channel later tonight. I'm going to stream it tonight and stay up later than I should. But Mojito, Milady here, she ended up getting the game and decided, I'm going to install this on your computer so you can try it out and stream it, which is awesome. So big shout out to her for letting me do that. And
yay!
I'm going to try this tonight, and I'm going to see if this game is a total piece of crap or maybe it's going to pleasantly surprise me.
Well, the thing is, I know that there was a demo out, and the demo basically showed you how you can customize your sim, right? And which was fine. I mean, I think there was way too much emphasis on that because you can barely see them anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so you make them look a little different. Okay, that's fine, but you're more mainly focused on getting them a job, teaching them things, getting them to do what they need to do. You're not focused on what they look like,
Yeah.
So I just thought they went a little overboard on that. But another thing I noticed is I felt like it was more of a building simulator than it was anything else.
Yeah.
Because it looked like there was a lot of things you can do to your house, which that wasn't the point of the game. It's not. If that's the case, you buy a building, construction simulator. You know what I mean? That's not the point of the game. The point is human simulation.
Exactly.
And what you want to do is you want to get your house done, get the stuff that they need, and let them loose. And then you want to play around with them a little bit. That's the point of the game.
See, and when I play The Sims or Minecraft or any building game at all, my viewers know me, and they know I'm not going to build a spectacular house. I'm not an architect. I'm no artist. And in fact, I find it funny to try to build something artistic because I'm met with an onslaught of bashing on my work. And I'm always like, oh, come on, I'm really trying here. And
but
they
have
no,
made
you're terrible,
it easier.
go home, you're drunk. They made it easier, but here's the thing.
Because there's rooms you can buy.
You can buy rooms.
Whole rooms, and you connect them.
I hate that.
It's
I like
dumb.
making my own stuff. When I play The Sims, I want a big room. I want a big box. I want to put bedrooms in my box, and then I want to make my Sims live. I like decorating the box, and I like putting furniture in the box, but I'm not an exterior kind of guy. So a lot of the building simulation stuff that's in The Sims 4 has been completely lost on me because it's not something
Why can't you just buy a house and furnish it?
You can do that too.
That's the way it was. That's the way it used to be, I thought.
You can do that too. But
And
I,
then
don't,
add
I
on
like
to it.
building a little bit. I like it enough to want to build my box house.
Sure.
So
We want to build a dirt fort.
yeah, exactly. I'm going to divert from the topic here for just a second. We'll come right back to it. I want to actually say a quick shout out to Anarchy Arcade. The developer for this just entered our chat room here. And one thing about Anarchy Arcade, I think we talked about this in the show, it's a game where you can take all your Steam games, for example, and then put them in this room, like a virtual reality arcade, and put up little machines, and then have your friends come visit it as well, and you can build this whole arcade up.
It's an arcade simulator.
Yeah. It's kind of on topic. It's a lot of fun, and it's really cool. It's a cool way to launch your games, and it's a cool way to view your collection of games, and it makes it feel like your games are now a game, and it's a really cool thing. We talked about it a while ago, and they just came on and announced that Anarchy Arcade comes out on Steam this Wednesday.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I know that they didn't make their Kickstarter or anything, but actually him, because it's only one guy. But wow.
There's the last of my early access keys for you guys.
Well, that'll be gone in 5 seconds.
That'll be gone in 5 seconds. It will, but we appreciate it. Thank you.
But yeah, it's
Should I grab
It's
that,
a long,
or are you
long-
are you just leaving that up for anyone in chat?
who, me?
No, Anarchy Arcade.
Oh. It's a long time waiting. I mean, we were playing around with the SM arcade, which was the
Smart Arcade.
Smart Arcade or SM Arcade, as the girl in the actual arcade, when she speaks to you and teaches you stuff in the videos, that's what she calls it, SM Arcade. So I don't know, but anyway, that is the prototype, and that's what we've been messing around with. So this is actually going to be the Anarchy Arcade itself, right?
Well, big thanks to Anarchy Arcade, the code in chat right now. This is why, if you're listening to the podcast through the RSS feed or on YouTube, you should come to the live show, because anything can happen. It's a first-come, first-served code. So that's going to work for, I guess, everyone in chat. And it's a Steam key, and it'll unlock.
Oh, he says
Anarchy
it's for
Arcade.
you all. Oh, wait. First
Yeah.
come, first serve. You can PM me if they are all gone when you try.
Okay, so it may work for one of us or all of us. I have too much streaming stuff up here. I don't want to ruin the stream by turning on my Steam right now, but yeah, there you go. I'm going to pick it up regardless. If I can't get it through this key, I'm going to get it on Wednesday or Thursday or whenever I have time off work. So definitely check out Anarchy Arcade. I'm going to call that the Indie Spotlight, because it's awesome.
It is. It's really cool, and I've actually talked to him in game, and we had a discussion about some of the plans he was going to do, and it's cool to see this thing progress.
5 keys, awesome.
It would have been a lot sooner, I think, if he would have gotten the Kickstarter, if he would have made his goal, but unfortunately didn't quite make it. So, but I'm glad he's getting it out there. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, props to you guys for pushing on after the Kickstarter, because I've seen a lot of things just kind of disappear after they don't make their Kickstarter goals, which is understandable. But yeah, props to you guys. We're doing a Sims 4 show, though. I just wanted to mention that. I love Anarchy Arcade, so I just had to bring that up. I appreciate you stopping by and saying hi to us. But yeah, Sims 4, talking about features that are not in the game, and there's still a lot here that some things I completely forgot about. Like, we're seeing no private school. I never really used the private school. Maybe that was a Sims 2 thing or something. Maybe if your kid is bad, they go to private school, or if they can get... I think they can get into a private school. I think that's a thing. Some of these features have been coming and going in the game, too. That's another thing we have to keep in mind. There's a lot of things here that have been coming and going throughout
Yeah, and see, back in the very early days of The Sims, we didn't have the internet like we have today, where we could post all the things they're going to take out of Sims 2. You know, we didn't have that luxury, or at least it wasn't as widespread as it is now. So this is really the first time somebody's probably really went wild on it and listed all the things that are going to be missing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's again a very negative list, but a few things are kind of like go hand in hand. For example, there's no cars, which was a bummer, because people were waiting for cars for a while. They brought them in Sims 3 in full force. They were fantastic, and then when you know it, they remove them again, which sucks. That's terrible, because I love the cars. I love buying my Sim a fancy car.
I think it was a great rock group. Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about...
Anyway, another thing that's been removed is no garage doors. Well, that's kind of obvious. So it's
obvious
hard to say
you're going to remove that because you don't have cars.
This is a list of 89 things that aren't in the game, but that goes kind of hand in hand. There's also like no makeup slider, but that's because there's no full face makeup.
Well, I'm going to hate the fact that there's no acne.
No, there's no acne. I don't see, that wasn't a Sims 3 thing. I don't remember my Sims in the Sims 3 getting acne, but in Sims 2 they
I'm
did.
just joking. I think that's a really let's make it 88 and forget the no acne one, because it didn't matter anyway. No, but yeah, I can't believe that's even on the list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some of the biggest ones are some of the like places that you were able to go to, like restaurants.
A lot of that comes with the no open world, yeah. But you can't. You also like. There's no basic jobs like
No grocery stores.
no. Where were those basic jobs? No gardeners for hire. That was kind of a bummer. I love the gardener because you can keep your yard pretty without having to make
No
your son
babysitters because
water.
there's no toddlers. So why would you need a babysitter?
Yeah, you should be taking care of your own damn baby. No cemeteries and no ghosts. No ghosts that come and haunt you.
Those were fun.
Oh, it was hilarious to have your sim almost die of a heart attack because of a dead relative coming up
Then
and
your
staring
happy
him.
place haunted. Oh man.
It's like they took out. It makes it. This list makes it sound like they took out the fun, and I'm hoping that all of these things were removed for a good reason, and those reasons being they have better replacements for whatever it is they. I can understand taking away like basements because you're trying to build an architecture like, your house. The way they did the house thing, the basements don't really work. I would understand that. Like, I'm understanding about that.
Well, here's another one. No random or accidental deaths and no repairman.
That's the one I was.
Does that mean that our TVs aren't going to like go bad?
So
I loved that when that happened.
If there's no repairman, you're responsible for repairing your own TV if it breaks.
If it breaks, so they might have taken that out of the game.
You don't get electrocuted? Is that what no accidental death means? Because that's what would happen. If you were a terrible repairman, you would get electrocuted.
Those were like cool features in the game.
Does that mean there's no house fires? Because that would suck. What's the point
Although
of the
I've seen a
smoke
video,
alarm?
I saw the video though, and they actually caught a fire, and they caught one of the Sims on fire, and he died, and the Grim Reaper came.
Okay.
And the whole thing, there was no ghost afterwards, but the Grim Reaper came, and it became an urn. And then you were able to place the urn anywhere, and the urn was named after the person that died.
So basically,
that's an accidental death.
That's an accidental death. I mean, so what? A lot of these things can be considered vague too. I mean, picking apart this list here,
I'm just wondering if either the videos are showing what's in the game. This is why I almost believe that some of this might be expansions, because everybody that's got the game, that actually has the game, like people who have went to some of these conventions and got the game or a demo of the game or whatever, has a lot of the features. Some of the not a lot of them, but some of the features that are listed here, and I'm wondering why they have those features if they're listed here as not being in the game.
A lot of people on Twitter, on Everything Noob, at Everything Noob on Twitter, I went and I was asking people what they thought of The Sims 4, and a lot of people joke about how those things are going to be expansions. Like, oh, house fires, and there's going to be a house fire expansion. Haha,
There's
hilarious.
going to be a natural disaster or disasters expansion.
That could be it, because they got to be out of ideas for original content for expansions by now. You would think. I mean, they're going to keep re-releasing the same ones. There's no pets, obviously. They're going to have a pets expansion. Generations, pets. It'll be the same expansions that they've always had. But you
so they
want to
come
new
up
ones.
with something new.
You got to trick
But they
people.
promise that this is not, that some of these things that are missing, they say, no, this is not, we don't plan on adding these later or in an expansion. That's not what they're trying to do. They just got a new engine, and this is stuff that won't work.
And see, we can't take their word for crap either. This is what sucks, because we can't.
Yeah, because they've always screwed us out before. Yeah,
with
this
great example,
SimCity,
great example. SimCity said we're not ever going to make this game play offline ever. It cannot be done. We've designed the game so it can't be done.
Some guy come up with some kind of mod that allowed you to.
People were like, yes, it can. You guys are assholes. You're liars. And they're like, no, it can't. Shut up.
Yeah.
Back and forth until people finally just got over it. All right, fine. No offline mode. What happens? Not even a year later, they update the game and sneak in an offline mode. It was snuck. It wasn't announced. It wasn't a big deal. They just snuck it in.
Yeah. So
maybe we can get pools. They'll just sneak it in one day.
I think they hyped this game up. They had all these features in the game when they gave out demos and stuff at conventions and things like that, and had people play it. They had a lot of these features in there, and even when you watch the stream, you see a lot of these features in it. And I think that is the end result when you get all the expansions.
Maybe. I mean,
that would be sad,
It would be really stupid to add house fires in an expansion, things that have been in the base game. It's one thing to keep making the same expansion over and over. It's another thing to take out things that were in the base game originally and then make them an expansion. I don't think they'll do that, personally. I really don't. I just don't think they'll do that. They don't need to. I mean, they know that people are going to rebuy expansions. There's no need to go whole hog and say, it's a swimming pool expansion. They might. I'm not going to put it past them. I just don't see it happening. That's just me. I don't really have anything to back that up. But one thing we do really need to mention, though, there's a lot of speculation about premium membership, too. And it hasn't really been discussed that much because people are very uncertain. But I think we have enough proof to say you're definitely going to see microtransactions in The Sims 4 based on The Sims 3.
Wow.
That's my
because
my conclusion to that.
Yeah, I think there's, like I said, they're streamlining this game so that it works on mobile devices as well as on your PC. And so you might be right.
Like that,
you might be right. They're going to make it so there's microtransactions.
That's like a whole other topic for me, because I even saw an article today, and I tweeted, I said, do you agree? The article was saying that the CEO of EA says that mobile games and console games are basically the same thing. And I said, do you agree? And everyone tweeted back, no. They're not the same.
Right. But you know what's so sad is that's what's happening is a lot of these, I mean, you go on Steam now, and I swear there's tons of games that were mobile games that are ported over to PC. And it's like, what is going on here with all these mobile games that are on PC now? So I think they're touching on something. I think they want to gain a wider audience, because anybody who has PC is going to buy Sims, right? They're going to buy it because they're going to have PC. But now they're tapping into the mobile market, and so now they're able to reach more people that wouldn't necessarily play Sims.
You're not wrong,
because now they can play it while they're waiting for their doctor's visit or whatever.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I think ideally most game developers would like that, would like their games to be on a handheld platform as well. You reach more people that way. You could sell more games. I think, though, the thing I really want to focus on right now is the premium membership stuff that's unconfirmed but very likely to be in the game.
Oh, actual premium membership, where if you're a premium member, you get these items as opposed to just the base items.
Yes. That's something that hasn't been confirmed, but people saw a really quick glimpse of it. IGN was doing a video, and I think it was IGN. Someone was doing a video.
I think you mentioned this. Yeah, you mentioned this.
And they saw a quick little glimpse of a premium membership screen, and it went away. And the guy doing the video didn't even talk about it. It was like a frame long, and you can freeze on it. And it looks like a premium membership. People were analyzing it, and it looks like a premium membership screen where you go in, and if you use your real money, you can buy fake things in The Sims. We see that a lot these days because of Facebook games and stuff like that. And that's how those games make money. You can argue that the game is free, and that's how they need to make their money. And you can argue with me all day long about what you believe in microtransactions, and I'll probably agree with a lot of what you have to say. But the thing is, it should never be in a game where you're paying a premium cost. $60, $70. These games are full-price AAA titles. There's absolutely no reason to have microtransactions on top of almost monthly DLC. I'm exaggerating, but seriously, it seems that those expansions come out very quickly, and people buy them. You do not need microtransactions, and if you spend your money on that, spend your money on The Sims 4. If it's a terrible game, fine, go do it. Go vote with your dollar that way. I don't care. But please do not encourage them to make money off of microtransactions off a game you already paid full price for.
Yeah. You start allowing that, we're going to see it everywhere.
Gamer, I am begging you, do not do that. That's how strongly I feel, because you can, right now, if you don't believe me, go to The Sims 3 or watch a video on it. I'm sure you can find someone bitching about it on YouTube. You can go to a screen in the game, and there is a premium area where you can spend real money. In fact, it's so invasive that if you go into the Buy Now catalog,
Yeah.
There's items there that you cannot have unless you pay real money. And they're sitting there in the catalog with all the other items you can buy with simoleons.
Wow.
It's very intrusive. It's ridiculous. You could turn them off. Like, you can uncheck a box that doesn't show them. But by default, they're in your face.
Well, then you know they're going to have something like that in Sims 4. I mean, come on. If they had it there. But this one isn't going to be one you can shut off. It's probably going to be always there, you know?
Exactly.
Wow.
It's a crying shame. That's all I can say about it. It is a crying shame. It sucks. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I'm mad about. I don't know about these features that aren't going to be in the game. I'm really upset about the microtransactions still.
Now, some of the things that could be positive is the new emotions, which sound kind of neat. The only thing is like when you say like you set up your traits and you set up, you know your sim, you get, I guess, 3 different traits, 3 different base emotion or base. Like for instance, there's one in there where you can hate kids. You just hate kids.
Yeah.
No matter what you do. And the thing is, in the old Sims, when somebody disliked somebody else, you could get them to interact enough to where they would start liking them again.
Yeah.
Or you can interact, like, could say like they're in love. You can interact with them a certain way to get them to hate each other.
I'm used to that, though. I mean, a good example is...
But I'm saying now you can't. Now it's a preset. If they hate kids, they're always going to hate kids. You can't change that by interacting with kids.
Well, what about the traits in The Sims 3? If you remember, the traits in The Sims 3 have those similar things. For example, your sim can be... You can choose that your sim is an idiot with technology. Just doesn't get it. And then you can go make him an engineer or something like that. Or you can make him something that requires him to use a computer for his day job. He'll end up understanding it because that's his job. But he won't be very good. So you can bypass, even if that's a trait, you can still bypass it. Just like, so if you have a kid but you hate kids, you can probably still become friends with the kid. But overall, if your sim sees a kid, he's going to get disgusted. I think that's what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I know that I watched a video where the guy was trying to, him and his brother, I mean, there was a
sim brother?
A sim and a sim and a sim brother, and he hated kids, and his brother was a kid. So he couldn't interact or do anything with them.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, what's wrong?
Nothing. I just thought I heard something behind me. Anyway.
Oh, don't do that. You're
what?
scaring the crap out of me.
No, it was just like I heard a noise, but it could have been...
I'm not trying to, the swatting incident.
Oh my God! Come on, you're just trying to sneak that in. You got to talk about that, don't you?
No, it just freaked me out. I'm going, what the hell's going on here?
No.
Anyway,
there's. I wanted to get to that a little bit later in the show if we had time.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. What happened was, for those that are just listening, Dan, he kind of pulled his headphones back and he looked behind him and he looked back with his eyes wide open, and it kind of freaked me out for a moment because it reminded me of that video.
Yeah, there's this new thing called swatting, and the fact that we have a name for it is just awful to me. But let's say you're streaming on Twitch. If they manage to get your address, there's this trend going now where this punk ass will call the cops and say there's some horrible thing going on, enough to get a SWAT team to come to their residence and almost potentially get the guy killed, really. And it's like this big news thing. A lot of the Twitch community is talking about it.
Yeah.
It's just, there's not much else to say about it. There's a couple stories that people are saying are fake. Like, oh, well, one guy got caught and got 25 years in jail. And someone's like, no, that's a fake story. And there's just a lot of drama around it right now. I do hope that someone does get caught and made an example of, but it looks like it hasn't really happened yet.
Not that I know of, yeah, because there's a lot of people throwing it out there. Like you said, making fake announcements or whatever. But yeah.
It's like, that's really all we have to say about it. I hope that I hate that we already have a term for it. That bugs me. That really, really bugs me.
I didn't mean to bring it. I just when I saw you do that, it just reminded me of that. That's all.
Yeah. It's just anyway. We'll get back to The Sims. You just had to bring that up. Yeah. So.
But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things that are supposedly going to be taken out, and a lot of people are saying they're not even going to buy the game if that's the case. And but there's no way to really know until you get the game, because like I said, these streams are showing a lot of these features in it, and I don't understand. So I don't know. And then again, like you said, they're adding some stuff that aren't in previous Sims games, which make it seem better. So we'll see what happens. See what kind of feel you get out of it. I didn't like how they said, we've changed the UI so there's more visibility and all that stuff. But yet, when you're building and you're doing things, you still got the full size. It's still the same.
Yeah.
You can hide it. You can hide it better now, I guess.
I mean, I commend them on some of these building features. I really do. Like, these are things that should have been in the game a long time ago. But some of them, I mean, for example, you can now take an entire room and move it. And a lot of people are really excited about that because there's so many times where you want to rearrange your house, but you have everything set the way you like it. And now it's really easy to just copy and paste or, cut and paste a room. And move it around.
And you put the furniture in there, and then when you stretch the room to make it bigger or smaller, it will actually move the furniture with it. So, like if you got a dresser against a wall and you stretch it so it's a longer room, the dresser will follow the wall that you're stretching, so it'll stay there. You won't have to rearrange all the furniture again.
I can see how those features would also get incredibly annoying, but
yeah,
like, I don't want the dresser to move. But no, stuff like that is really cool, and I really do. I think what this all, if I were to sum up all of my feelings on The Sims 4, I want to like The Sims 4. I want to be optimistic about it, and I want it to be a good game because I do really enjoy The Sims. And there are things about The Sims 3 that I feel could be improved on, but I don't even know if those things were even addressed because The Sims 4 is missing, according to this list, so many things.
Stuff, yeah. And then a lot of people don't like the loading screens anymore. I mean, don't like the new loading screens where it goes when you go from one place to the next. You go to loading screen.
Oh,
and then
that sucks because we had an open world and now you don't.
Yeah, you were able to walk around, and if you wanted to go to the bar, you walk right into the bar. You don't have to wait for it to load.
If it increases performance not to have an open world, but you can do it, you've had the ability to do open worlds before, it should be my choice if I want to increase my performance to turn off the open world.
And there are games that you can buy that have those options, You're able to select different options, like in Minecraft, you're able to select weather if you want to be able to see the weather, because sometimes the weather can cause lag and stuff.
Yeah, you can do
different things.
They leave that up to the gamer. They don't take away cloud cover because you're having trouble rendering the clouds. If you're having trouble rendering the clouds, turn the damn clouds off. That's the thing. It's just we can go on and on about it, but ultimately what it comes down to is I'm really afraid of what they've done to the game because it looks like it's now just a really, really, really building heavy and not fun heavy. People like to play The Sims because they like to get The Sims into mischief and trouble. And that was like the whole reason I fell in love with The Sims as a kid, because I had this guy and I could do whatever I want with him. I can make him get married and then cheat on his wife and do all these things.
Yeah,
and get him into all kinds of mischief. And it just feels like so much of those things have been removed. Like one thing, no dinner proposals. Why? Why? You can still propose, but just not over a dinner table. Why is that not in the game? But also, why mention it? I mean, I might forget that it's even a thing if it didn't come up. But it was mentioned, and now I'm thinking about it, Now,
see, it says right here, no bartender as an NPC. I've watched a Sims 4 stream video where they went to a bar. It was called, what the heck was it called? It had a really funny name. Killer Snake Bar or something like that. Okay. So they went to the bar, and they go into the bar, and the girl sat down, right-clicked, and was able to purchase drink from the bartender.
In The Sims 4.
In The Sims 4.
Yet
And so
it
I'm
says there's no
wondering-
restaurants. It says there's no NPC bartenders.
I don't understand why it says that.
It's really confusing. This whole list is so confusing. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out tonight. All of our...
Yeah.
See, I almost wonder if we should have saved the Sims theme for next week, because all of our questions will be answered, because I'll have had time to actually sit down and play it myself.
Well, this is cool because but Sims isn't released yet, so we don't know. But they say this is what, in the final release, these are the things that are going to be removed.
Yeah.
So maybe all the things that we've been watching are the Sims as it stands now before release.
But why,
you know
why take them out? Like,
why take them out?
You don't want to promote your game with features that you're eventually gonna.
Oh,
gonna
sure
remove.
you do. You want to hype it up, make it look as good as possible, right?
Well, yeah, but then you don't take away those features. Otherwise, that just adds to the hate.
Sure, if
goes
you're
towards
EA,
EA,
you
yeah.
do.
I just don't see that happening. I think a lot of this list is taking one little thing and twisting it to make it sound like this feature is entirely removed. Maybe there's no burglars under a certain circumstance.
Right. Maybe there's something. Yeah, that's because, like I said, a lot of these features I've seen. I've seen cars in the game.
Well, cars,
I just haven't seen car as in
you can't,
owning a car in
yeah,
a
you
garage.
can't own a car, but they're around. So who knows? Maybe you could, and this list is completely wrong. I don't know.
It says no cars, not even as a decor.
Well,
So in other words, it's saying no cars, period. You know, and then
can't
when you
park
think
one
that,
in your driveway even and just look at it, which
but
you
that's
can do.
decor.
That's decor. But
But he's saying no cars and not even as decor. So in other words, not only is there no cars, but not even as a decor you can't have a car.
yeah, but you can still be picked up for your job in a vehicle. Like someone will come and pick you up and
Yeah,
you'll go to work.
what they're trying to make it sound like is that when you go to your job, you go to a loading screen.
Yeah. So
You know, that would be awful.
obviously this list, wherever it originated from, was written by a very negative party, and it's totally fair to be negative against this game based on what we already know about it. Yeah. I mean, and look at the disaster that was SimCity. But SimCity itself turned out to be a fantastic game. They just had a lot of bad press because of the flubbed launch.
They got Cheetah yet? That's all I want to know.
They got what? Cheetah? Oh, yeah, that's been there forever. It,
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah.
Because I know for a long time they didn't have it.
Yeah, they got rid of it because they didn't know what else to do, and their servers were overloaded. And it's just they've had a really bad reputation, and I think people are really trying to choke out EA right now and make them look really bad. Maybe this list got viral and was written by someone who just wants to see the game crash and burn. I don't know, but the more
But
we
see, all
talk
these
about
little
it,
X's right here are references to where this information came from.
yeah. If you click on some of those, they're kind of vague still.
Yeah.
Some of them lead right to a reference saying, "Yeah, that's not in the game." Some of them are kind of vague. We'll let you guys check it out on the show notes for sure because it's
We know from what EA has actually said. EA
Yeah.
has actually said no toddlers, no pools, and there was one other thing. I forgot what it was.
I mean, they're not going to go making a list of things they've taken out.
No, but there was 3 actual things that they actually said they had to remove. And so those are the only 3 things that were mentioned by EA. So we know those are for sure. So like when you see no pools, yeah, there was no pools.
I want to know where they get some of this information because some of these things don't. I'm going to read a little list to you here, and I'm going to not include the things that don't have a reference link. All right, here we go. No hot tubs, no pool tables, no bikes, no changing tables, no cribs. Oh, wait a minute. Are these references? Oh, it just shows you it just talks about what a bike is. Okay, so yeah, no bikes, no changing tables, no cribs, no high chairs, no hot tubs, no pool tables. And there's 2 of those. There says 2 of them are no dishwashers and no trash compactors, but those have a reference link to them. So
yeah.
it's kind of crazy. Like, why no hot tubs? Why can't your Sims chill out and try to like woohoo in a hot tub?
That was a fun thing, remember? I mean, you have a group of...
But
Well, that's
there's no
another
leg
thing.
to stand on either. There's no reference showing me that it's proven there's no hot tubs in the game.
Now, in Sims 3, were you able to speak to a group of Sims, like have a conversation with a group of Sims? Because that's supposedly a new feature in Sims 4.
You know what? I don't think you could. I think that was a
And
problem.
you can multitask in Sims 4, too. You couldn't multitask, I don't think, in Sims 3. If you were working on a specific thing, like, his happiness or whatever, you were watching TV, he was watching TV, he couldn't eat and watch TV. He had to watch TV, and then he had to go and eat.
I feel like that's wrong. I know you could eat in front of a TV, but maybe they're not technically watching it. I know one thing, they tried to add multitasking before, where you'd be with your wife. You'd be watching TV, and you can make the wife go cuddle with the husband, and it says cuddle or cuddle and watch TV. So they kind of had it a little bit, but it's kind of cool if they've found a better way to implement multitasking.
Yeah, so that you can work on different things at once.
Okay. So that's kind of neat.
I mean, could you eat and take a shower at the same time?
That'd be cool if you could do that in this game.
You could work on your being clean as opposed to, and also work on your hunger.
Well, then you get sick because you get all the soap in the food, and then your son is really sick and he has to miss work. Stuff like that I'd love to see. That would be a great trade-off for me for some of the things missing. And that's what I hope. I hope I'm really pleasantly surprised when I play it tonight.
I'm going to watch your stream. I'm going to check this out. I'm going to do a video of Planet Explorers, and then I'm going to watch your stream.
Eat and take a dump. Exactly. Yeah. That's the kind of thing.
Do that at the same time?
That's the kind of thing I would love to see.
Another thing, they also have mobile devices. The Sims have mobile devices now.
They had like Blackberries in The Sims 3.
Didn't they?
But they did.
But they have like iPods and stuff now too.
Those did a litany of
your kid
things,
but your kid could sit there and he'd be playing on the iPod, and that'll like work towards his entertainment or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thing.
I wonder if you could buy that, and you start out with a crappy flip phone. That'd be kind of nice because everyone started with a BlackBerry, and the BlackBerry could like call and already had all these things in it, but it made it so you didn't need a home phone at all. And that's kind of like real life. I mean, I have my cell phone. I don't really have a use for a home phone, so I don't have one.
Yeah.
But or I didn't for a while. I ended up getting a landline because they're good to have. But I want that option. I should be able to choose if my sim spends a bunch of money on a phone. Maybe he has to pay. It adds to his monthly bills, or I could just buy a home phone and not worry about it.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean that would be. I mean, in a way, it's not too different than Sims 3 then,
Yeah.
Except for the fact that now you got an iPod, but who really, not everybody has an iPod in the world. I mean, I guess nowadays, well, maybe that's the reason why they're making a game streamlined, because maybe that's what's happening, is the future is now. I mean, everybody's got an iPod. I mean, I just bought a tablet because I felt the need to have one. So basically it's like a as normal as having a phone now to have an iPod or a tablet.
iPhone or Android or.
So that's why they're streamlining these games so they'll work on mobile devices.
Well, we'll know tonight, and maybe it will follow up as like our secondary topic for next week. Every week we have a theme to the show, and usually towards the end of the show we start. We'll talk about a couple other little things. Maybe we'll make The Sims 4 that little thing. How was The Sims 4? How did it go after watching streams and playing it? Was it as bad as everyone said it was, or was it cool? Was it a good game? I'm going to find out tonight, and I'll get back to you next week. We are getting close to the end of the show, and there is one more thing we wanted to mention, because this is so cool. If you have Minecraft, you're going to like this. Dreadlow found this, and it's kind of going viral. I feel stupid for not having found it first. But it's called Simburbia, and it is a Minecraft SimCity mod that works as a Minecraft SimCity mod should.
Pretty close to the actual game. It's incredible.
It's really awesome. I'll let you explain. You've watched more than I have on it. I'll let you explain it.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a map. I don't think it's a mod. This is all done with command blocks.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's a map.
Oh.
Don't quote me on it. I'm pretty sure that it's just a map.
It was hard to tell. The video I saw was kind of hard to tell, and I saw two different things. I saw people calling it a mod, and I saw others calling it a map. But I didn't really have time to go too far.
I didn't really look at the actual website where you download it, but I think it's a map.
But the videos I saw were pretty awesome. So
yeah,
you have all the characters like in the server showing off the features, you go up to plots. There's empty plots set up, and you get to choose what goes in that plot. And then I guess using command blocks or whatever it is, you can choose to build a power plant. And once you do, there's all this explosion, and then bam, power plant just floating.
And then and there's redstone lamps all around, and the ones that are lit means that there will be power in that part of the grid.
Yeah, it's like a StarCraft pylon.
Yeah, and then you can build your residential there and your commercial, and then anytime you build like a commercial and you build a residential next, or you build a residential and you build a commercial next to it, it upgrades your residential to a higher class, and that's kind of automatic too. It's pretty, and there's hidden Easter eggs throughout the whole thing. So like if you make a residential and then you actually physically go into that residential, there's like hidden secrets, like little things.
Okay. So like the residents have things.
There's
inside
buttons
them
all over that you push. Yeah, and they do different things.
That's really cool.
So.
It's a really well thought out mod, and if you're a big Minecraft fan and you also like the idea of SimCity, you'll get a kick out of this one. And that's another one I'm going to be streaming probably tomorrow night. If the Sims 4 turns out to tank and I'm like, this sucks, I'll stream Minecraft tomorrow. It's a cool mod. The videos on it though might tickle your fancy. They'll be in the show notes for sure. And yeah, it's just cool. I haven't played the SimCity since after I got it. I played it religiously for about a week, maybe 2, and then I was over it.
Yeah, that happens to me too. I mean, I get into a game for a little bit, I play it, and then that's why I don't like to do videos of these games, because I'm afraid that I'm going to start something and then I'm not going to be happy playing it. So I'm not going to record it anymore.
Yeah.
And then people are going to be unhappy. Why didn't you quit that? So.
Well, with that, you just kind of, with YouTube videos, just do what you like, and then when you're done, you just, maybe you'll come back to, maybe you won't, you start something new. But yeah. Anyway, I want to get to this before we end the show, talking about next week's theme, so you guys can be ready, come to the show prepared, and we'll be tweeting about it throughout the week. Next week, we're talking all about MMORPGs, massive multiplayer online RPGs, things like World of Warcraft, and I know Jemmy's been playing a lot of Final Fantasy. Free-to-play ones, pay-to-play ones. It is going to be an all-MMO show. It can be kind of broad, but it'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll have fun with it. So tune in for that next week on Everything Noob, episode 96. And I believe we can conclude episode 95. We did it!
There you go.
Thank you, everyone, for checking out the podcast tonight. Don't forget to visit the show notes on everythingnoob.com. You can see this list that we've been referring to the entire show. You can see the Minecraft Simburbia mod. Check out Anarchy Arcade, releasing on Wednesday. Awesome simulation, arcade simulation. Like, if you could have your dream bedroom, this would be it. Like, it's you gotta check it out.
Awesome.
It's
you
really
start
cool.
out with one room, and then as you progress in making your room, you can unlock other rooms or other buildings actually.
Exactly.
So you can have a whole it's pretty cool.
It's awesome. Be sure to go check that out, and we appreciate you guys coming to the show tonight. We will see you next week for the Everything Noob podcast. See you later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Everything Noob podcast. Be sure to visit everythingnoob.com for previous episodes, show notes, host bios, and blogs. And while you're there, feel free to write us with any questions, comments, or suggestions you may have. Don't forget to check out the links to our Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch TV channel as well. On behalf of the noobs, see you next week, and happy gaming.